Hey, what's up guys? Andy here, and today we're reviewing over My Hero Academia episode 74 titled Lemillion. This episode was by far my favorite episode of My Hero to date. There might be a few episodes I might have to look back and rewatch just to determine if it is my favorite, but I'm almost 100% sure this is my favorite. This episode had everything. It had story. It had basis. Everything that happened was for a reason. It had a huge thing that happened in Mirio losing his quirk. It had a cliffhanger at the end. It had a great fight scene. It had emotion, great artwork, everything. Like, I couldn't have asked for anything else in this. Like, I didn't expect, Mirio to lose his quirk here. I thought somebody was gonna bust in at the last second, but no, he got hit. And, we'll talk about all that in the episode, like in the review, but God, this was such a good episode. Like, if somebody was to watch this episode, and they've watched the entire series, and they said this episode was dog shit, I would say quit watching it, you're a piece of shit. This was the best episode of My Hero, in my personal opinion. I know everybody kind of has their own little takes on what's best, what's this, what's that, But, I'm gonna go through this review. This is probably gonna be one of my longer ones, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, and I've got a full page of notes here. I'm probably gonna miss some stuff or say something wrong, so definitely let me know in the comments down below if I screw something up, and I think we just need to get right into this. So yeah, let's do it.
They say you don't ever go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there.
So we start the episode off with a flashback, and this is the completed bullet here, and it can completely annihilate someone's quirk permanently. And it took months to just make 5 bullets with their current facility, so they're going to be outsourcing. And they say that right now it's the prime opportunity because All for One is out. We cut into our intro and title card here. We get our intro, but we don't get our title card until like 13 minutes in, but it is Lemillion. And we cut over into the first little meeting they had with Toga and Twice here, basically like joining them. And they're pissed off. They don't want to work with them. But, there's issues here first and foremost because, like, these three get into it from the very get-go. And basically he goes, what are your quirks? Tell us. And Toga's like, nah, I'm not telling you. Are you crazy? And that's when this dude's quirk forces them to talk and tell the truth. We find out about his quirk a little bit later on, but for right now, he basically asked him, do you know anything about Shigaraki, asking you all to betray? And they're like, no. So they actually, it's like, exactly like he said, like, go on your own will here. But, like, he'd never asked him to betray, so it kind of beat that logic, So, stemming back to that first meeting, basically they were out to get this dude in particular, Iranaki, from the beginning. He was like their target because he was kind of a douchebag to them. And you know how they act. They're children. They act like children. So that's how they get back at him. And basically, Deku and Eraserhead take this dude out, and they just bail. They betrayed him. We cut over to Mirio talking here with Chisaki. I don't think that's his name. I don't think that's how it's pronounced, but we're just going to call him Chisaki. And they're basically talking here about, like, Eri. And he's like, she doesn't want you to rescue her. And that's when they get into a fight with these two guys. And basically, at this point, Mirio is like, he's screwed up. He's equilibrium, I think I said that right. It's early ass o'clock, guys, I'm sorry, is all messed up and he can't walk right. And we find out that this dude is Shin Nemoto. This is the guy from earlier, and his quirk is confession. And that basically means that everyone who he comes in contact with, he can force them to confess something, and sometimes they confess something that they don't even know about themselves. We then cut over to Dataro Sakeki, I think, and his quirk is Sloshed. He basically makes those around him lose their senses of equilibrium. So, like, you know, like I was saying earlier, you know, Mirio's all screwed up and he's getting shot at while confessing everything. And he's basically just getting shit-talked here. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, you left her, didn't you? And he's like, that's right, I did leave her. Because he can't lie here. And basically, he just says, fuck that, and screws them up easy. Phantom threat. That's when the fight begins. They just start going at it. He's like, Chisaki, and he starts fighting him, and they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But Mirio kicks it into overdrive here, like 100% into overdrive, and he just starts bashing him. He actually lands a soft hit on Chisaki, and he steals Eri. I don't know why I called her the girl. He steals her back here, and he's like, you know, I'll never make you sad anymore. And she's like, you don't have to do this, please don't do this, because she's been brought up in her head that every time she does this, it's her fault that Chisaki has to hurt Chisaki has to hurt someone. And basically, he throws his cape on her to avoid getting shot, and then he goes underground and comes up and just starts beating the shit out of him. He's like, a hero's cape is so he can use it to wrap up a hurting girl who's suffering and in pain. Beautiful scene. But we cut over here and he goes, you've lost, Chisaki. It's over. And he goes, don't use that name so casually. I've already gotten rid of it. And he cuts into a small flashback of himself, and that's when he tosses the bullet to Shin, one of the 5 bullets, and he says, do it. And he goes to shoot Eri, and that's when Mirio steps in to stop the bullet. His quirk is gone. I don't know. I don't know what to say here, you know? It's one of those moments like, you're like, oh shit, that actually hit. Because in any other thing, that would never hit, you know? In any other anime, something would happen, but this one, it hit. And Lemillion is now fighting without a quirk. And Overhaul's a strong dude, but, you know, he's got heart and gusto on his side, and he's predicting their moves left and right, and he yells at him, I'm still Lemillion. And we get a cute flashback of him as a child where he was rescued, and his dad says, you know, this quirk is, you know, kind of hard to do. That's why I gave up on being hero myself. Do you still want to do that, knowing that? And he's like, yeah, I'll just work super hard, and that he has. So he's so in depth with using his quirk, but he's also in depth with just pure on fighting. Like, he can bounce to bounce even without a quirk. And this is the end here. He gets stabbed, and this is the last we see, this last scene. And I was just heartbroken at this point. Eri's crying, and he's just getting beat up and bruised and battered, and nobody's came to help him yet, so I'm not sure, you know. I love this episode, though. This is, like I said, by far my favorite episode. But with all that being said, guys, you know, I just want to know what you all thought about the episode, because I am, like I said, I am in 100% agreement this is my favorite episode of all time. Like, out of all 4 seasons, this is the top tier episode in my opinion. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. Everybody has their personal preference, and I just personally preference this one, you know? But with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. It is like 5:30 in the morning right now, and this is already going to be a long enough video to upload, so if y'all did enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.
This is our identity.